yeah, if you think you're going to do it in your own strength, then you know what? Yeah, you can do it.
COVID, it's been helping people move their businesses from offline or brick and mortar to online.
Systems are more important than skills as an entrepreneur today.
It's totally okay to reinvent yourself multiple times, especially when you're an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Profitable Coaching Conversations with WendyY Bailey. If you're a coach, speaker, or industry expert, you're in the right place for sales and marketing wisdom and insight to grow your coaching business. Now, here's your host, Income Acceleration Mentor, WendyY Bailey.
Hello, and happy Thursday to you. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. Yes, I am WendyY Bailey. I am the creator, executive producer of this show, and I'm so thrilled that we are broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and in the next 24 hours, you'll be able to see the replay on E360 TV, on Roku, on Amazon Fire Stick, on what's the other one? Apple TV. So you'll be able to see this show in a number of different places. I'm so excited that we're part of the Diamond Factor Network. I'll share more about that a little bit later in the show. But today's episode is all about repeatable business processes for coaches. And they may be the same for other people, but since coaches is who I work with, I wanted to be clear about who I'm drafting these processes and sharing these processes with, so you understand the importance of them in your business. When I think about processes, I want you to know that a process is simply a step-by-step way of doing something. They're repeatable because what happens is you repeat these processes over and over and over again. And if you find yourself doing it a different way, you want to be effective about how you do it. And in being effective about how you do it, what happens is you are sort of fine-tuning the process. Why is this so important? Because when you have documented process, it saves time, you're much more efficient, you're much leaner in terms of your ability to automate, and all of that is really great. Now, business processes is part of my income acceleration roadmap. This is a visual, by the way, of my body of work, the things that I have worked with and continue to work with my clients on. And if you look, you'll see that third dark blue tenet right there, that silo is business operations, processes, systems, and automation. When you think of processes and the ones I'm going to give you today, I'm going to give you 5 core processes today. And when you think of them, I want you to understand that each and every one of these, in recording them, documenting, and having them, you have the ability to automate them with the right systems and tools to make your business run that much more smoothly. Now, let me just, in the way of transparency, tell you that all of my processes are not fully documented, but I do have some critical ones that have been documented. Why can I not talk today? They have been documented by my team. And, you know, I believe in process documentation. The thing that's really cool about, you know, process management, let's just call it that. In a previous life, I was in corporate America in an information technology environment. And that's where I got to love processes and the understanding of processes. You can go ahead and take that down, Barbara. When I think about processes today, I look back on that time in corporate America fondly. Again, I was in information technology. I was in the operations side of the business as a process manager. I was a project manager, and then I was a program manager. And the 2 processes that I managed were problem management and root cause analysis. Now, you might say, well, what exactly is that, WendyY? Well, a problem management process is what drives identifying problems in the operation systems when you're looking at that. So anytime there was a problem, like our process was designed to, our whole, you know, program and what we did every day in the operations division was designed to produce a bill, an accurate bill for a cellular service for, at that time, Bell South Mobility people. right? Customers. And so if something happened, like if there was an amount dropped off of their bill because the system didn't, recognize it right, if there was an error in that processing, we needed to know what that was. So that was problem management's process role. So looking at what happened, right? The root cause analysis went hand in hand with that, because it was, okay, now we know what happened. What's at the very core of that? What's at the root of what caused that problem to happen? And every week I would assemble a representative, a team, a group that was a representative from all of the different areas within the division, and even some people who were in like product management and software development. And we would go over problems and look at the root causes, because sometimes the root causes were lack of staff. Sometimes the root causes were, someone had coded some information wrong, so it needed to be recoded correctly. So we looked at it in that vein. The reason I'm even sharing this with you is because I want you to understand that same philosophy applies to you in your coaching business. When you're running your coaching business and you're trying to grow and scale and you're trying to gain traction on your profitability and your income, you've got to know that your business is running like a well-oiled machine. You got to know that your business is really running well, efficiently, and you can do this. Okay, I'm going to tell you at the end of this how you can begin this process of documenting your processes. I know that sounds kind of funny. I'm going to tell you at the end what you need to do to get started in documenting your own processes. Let me say this last thing before I get into the processes. These are core coaching business processes. Core coaching business processes. They are not the end all be all to every process you're going to experience in your coaching business, but you need to start here and refine the ones that are, once you prioritize them, that matter most first, and then you'll start to see an ease in everything that you do. The last thing I'm going to say, and then we're going to take a quick break, is when you have documented repeatable processes and you plug those into systems and tools and resources and automation, then you can create a lifestyle of freedom so that you're not monitoring everything. I'll say a little bit about that before we get started when we come back. We'll be right back. Being a member of a business mastermind can lead to exponential growth in your coaching business and in your bottom line. But how do you know if the mastermind is right for you? The right mastermind offers an opportunity for you to discover new growth insights and proven business strategies while putting them into practice with the right tools to grow and scale your coaching business. The right mastermind connects you to other high-achieving coaches so you can partner and collaborate. The right mastermind guides your efforts to grow and scale your coaching business. In just a few days, I'm hosting an information call so you can discover how to reserve your seat in the Profitable Coaches Mastermind. You can get all the details at profitablecoachesmastermind.com. You're invited to join this group networking and strategy call, and it's absolutely free. And so is the mastermind. That's right, the Profitable Coaching Mastermind is a high-value complementary opportunity for you to discover how to grow your coaching business. It's also a hands-on workshop designed to offer strategy to scale your coaching business. It's also an activation session with implementation tools you can use to grow and scale your coaching business. That's right, the Profitable Coaching Mastermind is totally complimentary. So save your spot so you can discover how to join the mastermind. This is not a sales call. Nothing will be sold. There will be no selling. There will be no offer. It is an opportunity, so save your spot. This is your opportunity for a collaborative interview, and you get to ask questions and get answers. Hi, Income Acceleration Mentor WendyY Bailey here, and I'm so excited about the Profitable Coaches Mastermind. The information call is designed to give you a little bit more information about it and for you to sort of decide if it's the right time for you at this point. Remember, the information call is complimentary, and so is the mastermind. I'm so excited about it because I got to tell you, I have pulled 3 key pieces out of my body of work We're going to talk in the mastermind about predictable coaching income. We're going to talk about business operations. And we're also going to talk about how you put your productivity into overdrive to create the sustainability in your coaching business. So be sure to sign up for the information call. I'm going to give you all the skinny when we meet. And I hope to see you in the mastermind as well. See you then. Yeah, I hope you guys were paying attention. And if you missed it, profitablecoachesmastermind.com is where you go and sign up for it. Profitablecoachesmastermind.com. So let's get back to this whole conversation about processes. I don't want you to get stuck on having every single process. You just got to start where you are, right? And these processes are going to be crucial for you to put in place when you are looking to create a lifestyle of freedom. I said it before, I said it just now, I'm going to say it one more time. When you are making the move to create freedom in your lifestyle from your business, from your coaching business, having your repeatable processes documented and then plugging them into systems so that you can automate them is the fastest way for you to get to freedom in your coaching business. Michael Gerber, who's known for the E-Myth and the E-Myth Revisited work, says that it's so important for you to work on your business and not in your business. In your business means that you're doing this. I envision that octopus who's on the Men in Black movie that is handling all of the calls that come into the center. But when you're working on your business, there are other people who are performing the task. There are systems that are plugged into the task. When you look at all of that, what it means is they are free to actually spearhead the business, to create the vision for the business, to go out and develop what they need to grow the business, to scale the business. And that's exactly what I want to encourage you to do. Okay. Today, I've identified 5 core processes. Okay, 5. They are not the end all be all to whatever you do. They're not, but they really are the primary ones that you want to focus on. So when you have these 5 identified, documented, and you can begin to automate, you're going to see a little bit of relief in your business activity and what you're doing in your business. So the first one I want to give you that a lot of coaches fail to have is the lead generation process. Lead generation process. Yes, it should be a process. And when I say lead generation, I'm talking about what activities you perform that is totally, wholly, fully about attracting leads into your coaching business. I'm not necessarily talking about marketing because we're going to talk about that in just a minute. I'm talking about you identifying your most ideal client, not people everywhere, not all these people over on Instagram or all these people on LinkedIn, or all these people on Facebook. I'm saying clarity about who your ideal client is, understanding that there is an approach that you have to attracting them, to finding them, to attracting them, and then what you do to convert them. Your lead generation process, I'm going to talk about conversion in just a second as a separate process, but your lead generation process should take you through everything that you do, everything that you need to do, everything that you want to have done before they actually become a client. Okay. So when I talk about lead conversion or lead generation, I'm talking about, do you have a process for how you source candidates on the platforms? Or are you just spamming people and sending everybody the same thing? Okay. Do you know your ideal client really well? And because you know your ideal client really well, you know exactly who they are on whatever platforms that you're marketing to. And this is the example I always give. I've never joined Snapchat, never. And I don't even know if it's still around now with TikTok. I think people move from Snapchat to TikTok. But anyway, the reason I never joined either one of those platforms is because I know that I'm serving a client whose age range demographic does not fit those platforms. So why would I go and look for leads over there? You know? So think about the social media platforms you're on and think about where you're very likely to meet the right demographic for your ideal client. That means you've got to know your ideal client, right? You've got to know their age, you've got to know their gender, you've got to know kind of how they operate, what their pain points are. You hear that a lot. What's keeping them up at night? That's a pain point. You've got to understand what you offer that solves it. You got to craft and orchestrate language and messaging that lets them know you're the beacon that they want to look to. That's a great lead generation process. And sometimes I've been interviewing people here lately who are appointment setters, or they are, LinkedIn lead conversion strategists. And I made that up. They didn't tell me that, but that's what they do. That's what they do. So you've got to look at, based on your process, do you want to do the work or do you want to plug someone in to do the work for you? As my mastermind opens up, I'm very strategic about how my lead generation process works. And this is one of those processes, in all transparency, that for me is not fully and wholly documented. I'm okay with that because I'm tweaking it based on this mastermind that I'm putting together and how that's going to generate leads for me beyond the mastermind. Okay. So the first core process is your lead generation process. So make sure you know what steps you're taking. I'm going to say it now, and I've said it before, and I'm going to keep saying it as I talk about these processes. If you don't have these documented, don't stress. The next time you think I'm in lead generation mode, take a minute, open up a text file or a note document on your phone, on your iPad, on your computer, whatever it is. And every time you do something, you need to just record it. Number one, I did this. Number two, I did that. Number three, I did that. If you have a team, then your team is doing something that follows a particular number of steps in a process. Have them document that process, right? Have them document it. I'm going to say this in a minute because I do have one particular process documented. Actually, I'll tell you now. It is the process for how I run this show, how I book guests on the show. It was a lot gathering information from people and making sure I had bios and photos, and if I was following them on social media, if they were following me on social media. So I put together a jot form that captures all of their information. They get to upload their information. It's all in one spot. I can always go when it's time to do anything with the show and see what they provided. My team literally took that process and documented it from the time they get a video to editing the video, to posting the video, to going back and doing the SEO for the video on YouTube. All of that kind of stuff is documented. They wrote down steps. They talked about what happens when this happens, what happens when that happens. They documented the whole process. Now, here's the cool thing about that. Now that they have documented that process, when I took a break from them being my team, bringing a team back in, whether it's them or somebody else, they're not trying to refamiliarize themselves with it. The process is already documented. So it's just about plugging those resources into an already established, repeatable process that is well documented. Okay. So the second core process, the first one I said is lead generation. There's some overlap to the next one, but it's very different if you think about it. The second process is marketing automation. Now, earlier this week, I interviewed Dr. Denise Dennis, who is a marketing automation strategist. I love that title for her. And the cool thing about what she does is she helps with the strategy piece of it, as well as the implementation part. Like, she's somebody who can help you look at where you are in your marketing based on that automated. She is specifically a KEEP certified consultant. So KEEP, what used to be Infusionsoft, is what she really works on. But there are a lot of other tools that are very similar. Her automation process and how she helps build out automation is walking through a process, right? She's walking through a marketing process. What happens when somebody comes to your site and they sign up for your webinar? Once they sign up for the webinar, what does that trigger? What happens to them next? Where do they go next? This is something you want to document. Now, she calls it automation, and it is automation, but just for simplification, because I know people get stuck on this whole notion of automation, it really is an email nurture sequence. It's an email nurture sequence because it's a series of emails, right? That's what makes it email sequence. It's nurturing because you need to build on the connection you've made with the client when they first come to you and they sign up for your webinar. They need to get to know, like, and trust you. They need to hear from you, from your clients, from your success stories, all of those elements that are part of your marketing automation are also part of your email nurture sequence. These days, it's hard to identify the number of touches you've got to make with someone before they grow to know, like, and trust you. They feel confident that they know, like, and trust you. Years ago, it used to be 7, but that was before the internet. Because once I got online and I saw what people were doing, it quickly rose to about 12. And some people say it's less than that. Some people say it's more. I'm going to, say it this way. Depending on how great a job you do at nurturing, that determines the number of touches you can have with a potential client. After the webinar, how many touches does it take? Before the webinar, how many touches does it take? When they sign up and the webinar is about to happen or hasn't happened yet, how many touches? How can you take advantage of that? How can you leverage that time that you have to give them more information about you, your clients, your process, why they need to work with you, your success stories, all of that kind of stuff. I'm not a believer in the shake my hand and, let's go kind of thing. You need to shake someone's hand, figuratively. You need to shake someone's hand and then let them know why you can be trusted with whatever, with their sales, with their career, with their marketing, with their business, with their life, with their relationships, with their visibility, with their purpose. That's what the email nurture sequence, i.e. marketing automation process, will do for you. When it's done right, that's what it will do for you. It's not just about getting in front of people. It's not always making sales calls. I do believe in sales calls. Let me say that. But you've got to be in the business of creating a bond with your ideal client. And there's a way to do that. I want to give you a quick story and then we're going to go to a break, another break. LinkedIn people are really, really marketing big time these days. They're out there and they are looking for people that they believe they can serve and support. And when I say they, I mean virtual assistants, digital marketers, SEO people, appointment setters, sales team, what do you call them? People who are closers. There's more. I could go on and on and on. And what I've noticed is people are much more pushy than they used to be. Someone friended me on LinkedIn and, he said, great to meet you. I said, great to meet you too. I'm looking forward to getting to know you. He asked me a question about my business. I don't even remember the question, but he asked me a question. I gave him an answer. He came back. He said, oh, that's great. What about this? Here's another question. And I read the question and I felt like we were kind of in conversation. And then at some point it turned to something that felt pushy and I backed off of the conversation. And he said, oh, I'm so sorry. That was never my intent. I know that we offer resources to people who are looking for that. And, I thought if I had the information, I would know what kind of information to share with you, what kind of resources to share with you. And what I said to him was, yeah, but that's not how you came across. You didn't say, I may have some resources to help you. Let me ask you this question that'll help me clarify. He was just so pushy, so quick to ask the question that it turned me off. When you're creating your email nurture sequence, when you're creating your lead generation process, even if you're identifying that in concert with your marketing automation, i.e. lead email nurture sequence process, you've got to remember that this is a person on the other end. And you've got to really be gentle in the way that you communicate. You've got to be really clear in the way that you communicate, because I'm not easily turned off, but I was easily turned off. So think about how you're going to nurture the relationship and document that process in your marketing automation, i.e. email nurture sequence. And I have probably about 5 different email nurture sequences, right? Maybe a little bit more, but I turn them off and turn them on depending on what I'm promoting and what I'm marketing. But they all have a certain look to them. And in the mastermind, I'm actually going to give you the email nurture sequence document so that you can begin the process of documenting that process. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I'm going to move from lead generation to marketing automation. And the next process I'm going to talk about is sales conversion. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Charvette Mitchell, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversations show with WendyY Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episodes go live.
Hi, I'm Barbara J. Faison, your mindfulness and meditation ambassador, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversation show with WendyY Bailey. Be sure to like, comment, review, and subscribe so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Hi, I am Dr. Monique, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversation show with WendyY Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Yeah, wherever you are, wherever you're watching, whatever platform, be sure that you like the video. Be sure that you let me know you tuned in, because I love seeing your comments. I love seeing your notes that you were here. I even had one of my LinkedIn connections, Yolanda Brown, who is, what does she call herself? Copyright Brown, I think is what she calls herself. But she was taking notes during the last show that we did on Tuesday. And I love that kind of engagement. And I want you to tell me if that's doing something for you. I'd also love to see your comments, read your reviews about the show, and, tell me what you think about what we're doing here to serve you as a coach, a speaker, a trainer, someone in the transformation industry. So today we're talking about repeatable business processes for coaches. And so I've identified 5 core business processes. So far, I've talked to you about a lead generation process and why that's important. I've talked to you about a marketing automation process. You may call it an email nurture sequence. You may also call it a funnel. Sometimes people refer to it that way, but don't get caught up in the semantics of it. Just know that there is a process for nurturing the relationship with your client that leads to conversion. And that's the process I'm going to talk about now. Years ago, I was the group coaching diva, and one of my social media friends gave me that moniker. It's because I taught my clients how to design, develop, market, sell and fill their group coaching programs using neurolinguistic programming, or NLP. And what I realized at about 7 years of doing that, I still do some of the work because there's similarities to group coaching, to, building programs and all of that kind of stuff. But at about 7 years of doing that, I realized that, yes, I was teaching my coaching clients how to build these programs, how to design the impact within the program, how to create something that was engaging and transformative for the people who were in their programs. More than anything, in addition to that, I was also teaching them how to sell. And so I became, and this was the moniker I gave myself in all candor, I became the sales conversion strategist. Doesn't that sound interesting? Sales conversion strategist. Well, the cool thing about it is, the reason I came up with that sales conversion strategist is because coaches, you know how to coach, but you don't know how to sell. So teaching you how to sell in a way that leads to conversion, and that means converting a free client to a paid client, right? Converting someone who is interested in working with you into someone who is actually working with you, as in there's been a transaction where money has changed hands and they're paying you to do the thing you do best for them. There is a strategy around that. Once you understand the strategy around that, then your conversion rates typically will go up. As long as you're doing your lead generation and your marketing automation, you're nurturing the relationship, the sales conversion process should be fairly straightforward. It should be, but sometimes it's not. Your sales conversion strategy is where you it's where you address any objections. It's where you begin to talk about the offer that you're going to make to the client at what point in the process. And I believe in making offers. And making offers is not always about money changing hands, but it should be a good percentage of your offer that you make about changing, money changing hands, right? When you make an offer, it can be for a lead magnet, it's that irresistible bribe, that subscribe bribe. I've heard it called a irresistible free offer. I've heard a lot of different terms for it. It doesn't matter what you call it. You need to make offers as part of your sales conversion process. Some of those may be no cost, free, complimentary, however you want to coin it. And some of those will be paid offers. When you host a webinar, you're doing that email nurture sequence, you're nurture the relationship. Within that, you're also going to make an offer to something you offered for sale on the webinar. Now, the mastermind, I'm going to turn to this again, the mastermind that I'm creating, that I'm kicking off with this information call, this networking and strategy call. The strategy call is complimentary. The mastermind is complimentary. And then after that, as part of my sales conversion process, there are other people that are involved in the sales conversion part of it, where we're actually taking you from the information call to the mastermind, and then to the conversion part of it, the conversation where there's an offer made that you can accept or reject. Everyone doesn't do sales conversion the same way. We do it a little different, and I'm okay with us doing it a little different because I don't want to look pushy. I don't want to be one of those people in the marketplace that people are like, oh, here comes WendyY. We know she's going to sell something to us. I want you to feel held as a client through the process, knowing that we understand where you are. It's a very individualized approach to selling and conversion. But know that my goal is to support you. And when I support you, I know I'm going to get paid, right? That's how I want you as a coach to look at your sales conversion process, right? It is your job to make your potential client feel held, feel supported. And in that process, when you make an offer that meets your client where they are, then you can actually see income come in as a result. Okay. The sales conversion process is, to me, very unique. It's got to be based on your selling style. It's got to be based on your comfort level. But I will challenge you around your comfort level about making more offers. And in the mastermind that's coming up, we're going to talk about offers when it comes to predictable coaching income, because those two go hand in hand. And if you're making offers and you are, setting your fees at the right place and incrementally increasing those fees, then you should be earning at a pretty good clip consistently to create the kind of sustainability you want in your coaching business. So remember what I said about the processes so far. Whether it's the lead generation process, the marketing automation process, or the sales conversion process, it's very, very important that you begin to document those processes, write down the steps. And, it's almost like when you do a process flow. I don't want to get too much in the weeds around this, but if you ask this question and they answer yes, it goes this way. If you ask this question and they answer no, it goes this way. You need to know all of those little intricacies in your processes so that as you're moving through tweaking them and making them better, you know exactly where some of the holes are and where some of the opportunities are for you to make them better. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you need help with this, come to the information call and join the mastermind. Again, they're both complimentary and neither of them are sales calls. So I definitely want to see you there. We're going to take another quick break, and then I'm going to finish off with the last two processes, core processes for coaches. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dr. Terry Levine, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with WendyY Bailey. Like, comment, review, and subscribe now so you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Hey, this is Tanya Smith, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with WendyY Bailey. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment now so that you're notified when the next episode goes live.
Hi, I'm Dr. Roberta Shaler, and you're tuned into the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with WendyY Bailey. Make sure that you like, comment, and review. Subscribe now so that you will know when the next episode goes live, and you'll be glad you did.
Yeah, welcome back. We've been talking about core business processes that are repeatable, and it's all specific to coaches. I showed you early on the income acceleration roadmap, and this is just part of little pieces of some of those processes and some of those areas that I've already shared with you. But the next two are not always so obvious, but they really do support retention and sustainability. So make a note that these next two processes speak to retention, as in client retention, and sustainability, as in your ability to stay in the marketplace doing what you love and doing it well. Okay, so I talked about the lead generation process. I talked about the marketing automation process, aka email nurture sequence, how you're going to nurture the relationship with the client. The third one is sales conversion. I spent some time talking about that. It should be unique to you based on how you work, as well as how you connect successfully with your clients. So this fourth process is a core business process that most people take for granted. But think of it this way. When the client says, yes, I want to work with you, what happens, right? Does it pull the trigger on some welcome activity? Does it pull the trigger on, where they go, what they get from you? That is called the onboarding process. I have a membership platform, and one of the things I was very adamant about doing, I had a team come in and revamp my whole membership and create more of a library impact, because it's not a course, it's a library that clients have 24/7 access to and all that good stuff. But I was very adamant about my team having a place where I welcomed people to the membership, to the academy. There was a video that gave them a lay of the land, that sort of took their hand and walked them around so that they saw how the campus is laid out, and based on that, where they could go and get more information. And then as time has gone on, I have actually tweaked that process so that that onboarding process is even more seamless, right? And it's even clearer for people as to what it is. Because I had people coming in saying, well, shouldn't you tell us do this first and then do that? And I had done that, but they thought it was more of a course and less of a library. So I had to change my language and tweak my process, and understand, in tweaking my process, I was documenting it and revising it so that it got better, right? So onboarding your client is what do you do once they say yes? Where do you take them? What do they do first? What do they do next? And walk through that process of how you're going to onboard that client, how you're going to work with that client. This is really important, because how you begin the process of working with a client really helps your client decide if they want to continue working with you. And sometimes clients move on and there's nothing you can do, and it just happens that way. And it has nothing to do with your onboarding process. But sometimes it really does have something to do with your onboarding process. You've got to make sure that your client feels just as held in that onboarding process as they did when they were going through the sales conversion, when they were going through the email nurture, when they were going through the lead generation, not feeling like you were being slimy, pushy, sleazy, or salesy with them. You want them to have that same experience in that onboarding process too. With my membership, I even do a monthly onboarding call. I don't do it every month. I do it when we have new people, but I also record all of those calls, and they're in the community so people can go back and look at them. Why do I do them every month when they're new members coming in? Because sometimes members have a different perspective, which means they ask a different question that I need to answer. So I want to be open to that. So having that monthly onboarding call is part of my onboarding process. So think about the program or programs you have in your coaching business and where you want to be sure that you're holding your client's hand through the process, and then document the heck out of that. What do you do first? Then what do you do after that? Where do you take the client after that? All of that becomes important, even down to when they buy something that is a downloadable. Do they get it then? Do they have to, use a code to get it from your shopping cart? Whatever that process is, you need to know what it looks like, and you need to understand how seamless it must be for them, because it represents you. And that's important, and you want that. The last core business process I'm going to give you, and then I'm going to tell you how you can begin to do this. I've mentioned a little bit along the way, but the last core business process for coaches I want to give you is what I'm going to call client love. Client love. Client love is, following up on the email nurture sequence, the lead generation, the email nurture sequence, the sales conversion, how you're holding the client. I have clients tell me all the time that, they wanted to work with somebody, but they didn't get a good feel for them, but they got a good feel for me because of how I held their hand and how I was with them every step of the way. Now, I'm not saying that to boast entirely, because I am saying that to boast a little bit. What I'm saying that to say is, think about your style, think about how you work, think about what's important to you. And when you understand that, then you can begin the process of client love. Client love, from my definition, includes client service. It includes client retention. It includes all kinds of different things. Any contact you're making with the client is part of client love. So, are you acknowledging their birthdays on Facebook? Are you, sending them things when they upgrade to a different level? What are you doing to show the client that you really love them, that you really want them there? And can I just tell you, in almost 22 years, I made a lot of mistakes in that area, but it's okay. It's okay. I still have clients that I worked with years ago that come back to me, or they tell me, wow, I'm still learning using what I learned in working with you. So think about your client love and what all of that means. We're going to talk a little bit about that in the mastermind, but I believe that client love includes at least 5 other types of client interaction. Again, client love includes the retention, it includes the attraction, it includes the service, it includes, all of those elements and more, so that you can really, really take care of your client and hold them in high regard. So we're going to take another break. I want to tell you a little bit more about the mastermind, and via the commercial, I'll tell you about a little bit more about it on the other side. And then we're going to close up. We're going to, complete wind down. Thank you, Barbara. Being a member of a business mastermind can lead to exponential growth in your coaching business and in your bottom line. But how do you know if the mastermind is right for you? The right mastermind offers an opportunity for you to discover new growth insights and proven business strategies while putting them into practice with the right tools to grow and scale your coaching business. The right mastermind connects you to other high-achieving coaches so you can partner and collaborate. The right mastermind guides your efforts to grow and scale your coaching business. In just a few days, I'm hosting an information call so you can discover how to reserve your seat in the Profitable Coaches Mastermind. You can get all the details at profitablecoachesmastermind.com. You're invited to join this group networking and strategy call, and it's absolutely free. And so is the mastermind. That's right, the Profitable Coaching Mastermind is a high-value complementary opportunity for you to discover how to grow your coaching business. It's also a hands-on workshop designed to offer strategy to scale your coaching business. It's also an activation session with implementation tools you can use to grow and scale your coaching business. That's right, the Profitable Coaching Mastermind is totally complimentary. So save your spot so you can discover how to join the mastermind. This is not a sales call. Nothing will be sold. There will be no selling. There will be no offer. It is an opportunity, so save your spot. This is your opportunity for a collaborative interview, and you get to ask questions and get answers. Hi, Income Acceleration Mentor WendyY Bailey here, and I'm so excited about the Profitable Coaches Mastermind. The information call is designed to give you a little bit more information about it and for you to sort of decide if it's the right time for you at this point. Remember, the information call is complimentary, and so is the mastermind. I'm so excited about it because I got to tell you, I have pulled 3 key pieces out of my body of work. We're going to talk in the mastermind about predictable coaching income. We're going to talk about business operations. And we're also going to talk about how you put your productivity into overdrive to create the sustainability in your coaching business. So be sure to sign up for the information call. I'm going to give you all the skinny when we meet. And I hope to see you in the mastermind as well. See you then. Wow. I hope that by now you have gone to profitablecoachesmastermind.com and reserved your seat for the next upcoming information call. It's a networking and strategy call. It is a group networking call. It's not one-on-one, so you don't have to, worry about it being one-on-one. It is a group networking call. It's a strategy call. It's my opportunity to get to know you. It's your opportunity to get to know me. I told you I do things a little different, so you want to take advantage of this call if you're remotely interested. And there's more than one date on the calendar. So if you don't see a date that you can make it, let me know, and I can open up some additional time on my calendar for a strategy call. The strategy call has no more than 20 people on it. It's not like this herd of people. And it's an opportunity for you to showcase who you are to people who are there, as well as for you to get to know them and get to know me at the same time. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the mastermind then. And I got to tell you, I'm just thrilled about the mastermind. This is a different kind of approach for me in terms of lead generation, marketing automation, what I've shared so far, the sales conversion, and the onboarding and the client retention will come later. But I got to tell you, I'm excited about it because it is such a new approach. It's refreshing to me to be talking about this Profitable Coaches Mastermind in this way. And I feel a sense of relief to have taken, there's got to be money exchange for me to help you, right? I feel like there is a freedom in that. And I'm excited about what that means for you, right? You've got to come to that information call, the networking and strategy call, ready to work, because you're going to work to meet other people. You've also got to come to the mastermind ready to work, because it's a hands-on workshop. You're going to roll up your sleeves and we're going to do some stuff together. And you're going to feel like, wow, I did all of this in this limited amount of time. Yes. As a reminder, the video shared it. I'll share it again. I'm covering 3 key pieces: predictable coaching income. That's part of the mastermind. I'm also going to be covering business operations. We're going to talk about processes. We're going to see what you have and what you need to have. We're going to start to document at least one of your processes more if you already have something documented. We're also going to talk about how to put your productivity into high gear. I believe in what I call income producing activities. It's not an original WendyY phrase, but IPAs are the secret sauce for how you get productive and create sustainability in your coaching business. Easy for me to say, right? So when you think of where you are in your coaching business, just know that I'm here to serve and support you. There are people out there that are making, 6 figures easily, but do they know how they got there? Not necessarily. And you may be one of those people. I want to support you, and the mastermind is one way to do that. And the way to take the first step is to book in your time for the information, networking, and strategy call. Okay, I'm going to talk about the mastermind. We're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to laugh a little bit. You're going to get to know people. And I think that's so important when you are growing a coaching business. The thing that I learned years ago was coaching, self-employment, especially when you're in what I call that transformation space, it can be a lonely place to be because you do so much in isolation. Yeah, you're talking to people. Yeah, you're networking online. Yeah, you may be doing some offline networking too, but you live in isolation to some degree when it comes to being in your business. This is an opportunity for you to connect with other high achieving coaches. It's another opportunity for you to reach out and connect with people and get to know them in a big way. This is a different kind of mastermind than what you've experienced before. It is literally 3 hours we're spending together, and we're rolling up our sleeves and working on your business in those 3 key areas: predictable coaching income, business operations, and we're also doing IPAs, income producing activities, so that we can identify what yours are and start to calendar what you're doing so that you become uber productive in your coaching business. So today I've been talking about core business processes for your coaching business. I've given you 5 core processes. Again, it's not the end all be all of processes, but in the coaching space, you need to have these well documented. The first one I'm going to give you is lead generation. You got to have a lead generation process, how you actually connect with potential clients, attract them, and move them through to do business with you. The second is marketing automation. I also gave you an alternative name for that. I'm not going to tell you. I want you to write down what I gave you as an alternative name for marketing automation. And remember that any of these processes that you have, once you have them documented, then you can put a system or a tool into it. You can also plug resources into it. So if you know a well-defined process, it's easy for you to say, hey, these are the skill sets I need to perform this process. Based on that, you can hire the right people to do the job for you. You should not be doing everything in your business. You are not Mr. or Ms. Everything, and you've got to stop doing that. Processes, well documented, helps you to identify who the best resource is to manage that process. Okay. I also talked about the sales conversion process. That's how you go from the having the conversation with the client to actually moving them into a situation where they have compensated you to work with you. That's the sales conversion process. It's looking at going from free to paid, or free to doing more business with you to paid, however you have it structured. Okay. The fourth process I gave you was onboarding. This is just as critical as when you first meet someone in the lead conversion process. You've got to know what you're going to do to hold their hand, your client's hand, and walk them through what they need to know to work with you. You've got different systems and tools set up. You need to be able to communicate with them how they work, and your availability. If there's a resource you've identified, I have a concierge role. I haven't filled it recently, but I have a concierge role in my membership academy, and that person handles questions and fields information to and from members. So you've got to know what your onboarding process looks like to take them through that. And then the last process I gave you was client retention. Client retention. When you understand very clearly that your goal is retention and sustainability, you show up differently when it comes to serving your clients. So, client love includes retention. It includes service. It includes, how you communicate any questions, how you respond to questions. All of that and more is part of your client love process, and you need to have it documented, very well documented. So those are the 5 core business processes. And I want to tell you 3 things that this whole effort will help you to do. The first is, when you document the repeatable processes, it makes it easy for you to plug systems and resources into it. The second thing, when you have documented processes, it allows you to monitor and measure them. Sometimes your KPIs or key performance indicators are part of are part of what you are able to monitor, measure, and improve upon, right? When you improve upon your KPIs, it's because you are able to monitor and measure them in a way that helps you get better, helps those numbers improve. And, everything is about numbers, because every time you do something, you want to know what's the return on investment for that. Stop doing stuff just because you think it's the right thing to do, and start doing stuff that is something that is going to bring a return to you, your bottom line, or the longevity of your business. Think of it that way. The last thing I'll tell you is, when you refine and improve your processes and you've got your team focused on that effort, you're always getting better. You're always becoming that much more efficient. You're getting so much better in everything that you do that makes your business run smoothly. It runs like a well-oiled machine. You can hear it humming. You don't have to be there. You can be out of your business for any reason: vacation, illness, family matters. You can be out of your business and your business still runs. So understand this. When I say this in all transparency, I don't have all of my processes documented, but I got to tell you, there are a couple in here that I talked about that are very well documented, and some that are not in here that I talked about that are very well documented. The better, more well documented your processes are, the better it's going to be for you. The better it's going to be for you in building up your efficiency, in plugging in systems. Based on plugging in those systems, you're going to find yourself able to plug in resources, the right resources to do the right job. And then you can begin to experience freedom. Freedom to work with whomever you want to, freedom to do the things outside of your business that you enjoy doing. All of that comes with these core business processes, and documenting them and tweaking them and monitoring and measuring and all of that. So we're going to take one final break. I want to tell you about the Diamond Factor Network, and then when we come back, I'll close out.
Thanks so much for tuning into Profitable Coaching Conversations with WendyY Bailey. Be sure to join us at the after party at www.profitablecoachingsociety.com. We'll see you next time for more sales and marketing wisdom and insight from Wendy Y and her amazing guests. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you know when new episodes are posted.